Okay, YouTubers, this is Herm Says Play to Win, back with another War Thunder Ground Forces simulator battle play in the IS-2 model 1944. I've actually played about a dozen matches in this heavy tank, and I actually like it quite a lot. The gun is very capable at its tier, and the armor scheme is reasonably good, although there are definite weaknesses. And I also like the fact that this tank has working machine guns. And so one of the purposes of these machine guns is to do some deforestation, because if you shoot the trees, then you can knock them down. So I shot this tree. There it goes, sinking into the ground. Well, you know, nobody ever said that the physics of this game makes sense, but it is what it is. Okay, so when this game was loading up, I very quickly checked the stats of the various players on my team, and I decided I would pair up with this IS-3 because his stats indicated that he's a decent player, he knows what he's doing. And what I found is that for the IS-2, and in fact for any vehicle that has a slow reload, it's usually a good idea to pair up with another vehicle. And obviously that's because once I fire a shot, I need to wait like 26 seconds in order to reload to fire the next shot. And so it's always a good idea to have somebody backing you up as you're reloading. Okay, so moving into position here. Now, one of the drawbacks of driving the IS-2 is the gun depression is really poor. It's I think 3 degrees gun depression. And so that means it's almost, well, it's essentially never a good idea to drive onto the top of a hill and try to aim down, because you're gonna have to drive over the top of the hill and actually drive onto the reverse slope of the hill in order to be able to aim down far enough. And so in order to compensate for that, what you should do is actually position yourself so that you're actually near the base of the hill, so that way you can get the minimal gun depression to work out, but you can take advantage of the geography of the hill in order to hide at least a good part of your hull. Okay, so I ended up taking 2 shots at that Jagdpanther, failed to connect with either, and the Jagdpanther took out the T-44 that YOLO'd out ahead. Okay. Meanwhile, an IS-3 to the right flank got taken out by an enemy Panther, so we can expect some flanking enemies down the right side. Okay, and that same Jagdpanther took out the IS-2 that yellowed ahead. Yeah, so in Simulator, I have developed the habit of not rushing out with the people who just drive ahead like madmen. It's because a lot of times they just end up dead really quick. Okay, so enemy medium, G6, somewhere up in the hills. Now because of the trees up there, it's hard to spot anything. But I do see a muzzle flash, so send a shot in that general direction, and at that very moment, an enemy heavy pops up. He is out in the middle of the field. He takes a shot, apparently, at the IS-3 next to me. I think he took a shot at me there and he missed, but I hit him in the lower part of his turret and take him out with one shot. So there are two enemy mediums, one to our flank, to our right. So I back up and reposition and look for this panther and another one-shot kill. Always love those about this game. So satisfying. Okay, so one of the other uses of these machine guns on the tanks is to indicate to friendlies where the targets are. The third use I've found for these machine guns is that you can use them to shoot the ground in front of an enemy and kick up a lot of dirt and obscure his field of view. And that can be useful in certain situations. Okay, so just pushing ahead very carefully because I know there's an enemy TD out there. Now this is the downside of playing with the grass on, okay? Because if the grass were turned off, I mean I could see this enemy TD already probably. And yeah, so I spotted an enemy there in what looked like winter camo in the background, and so I took a shot at that guy. Yeah, so getting back to the grass, you know, I'm aware that it's possible to turn off the grass, and there is the option to just turn off the grass only in sniper mode, and I'm aware of that. Yeah, but I have just made a choice not to dilute the gameplay experience and water it down even farther than it is already watered down in this game. I mean, I understand if I turn off the grass, then yeah, chances are I can spot enemies more readily and engage enemies more readily and kill enemies more readily, and that's fine, great. But I would rather not do that at the expense of having some realistic immersion in this game, because I mean I've seen people stream War Thunder Ground Forces with the grass turned off, and it's just, yeah, it's just not the same. So, yeah. So for me, I'd rather keep the grass on, even if it does result in tactical disadvantages. Okay, so I see this Panther right here. I don't have much to shoot at, but I put a hugely damaging shot into his turret. Knocked out all his turret crew, knocked out both turret drives, and knocked out the cannon breach. And so this guy needed to repair. So here, by me backing up, it was a big misplay on my part. So as soon as I saw how big of a hit that was, what I should have been doing was charging ahead to close the distance with this Panther. See if I can catch him while he's still repairing. Played a bit too cautiously there. And because I didn't press the advantage immediately upon landing that big hit, now I can't really, don't want to really push too hard, too aggressively, because the Panther's probably already repaired by now. And so if I just drive over this ridge, chances are he can just shoot me and kill me in one shot. I'm unlucky. But anyway, the IS-2 takes him out, so threat dealt with. Okay, so at this point we have the upper hand in this game. There's not much action from here. So yeah, the IS-2 is going to actually head back to base to reload all his ammo. And I'm going to pull back and follow him. So, yeah, not much more action to be had here, so I think I'll go ahead and cut it here. And so if you've watched this far, thank you very much for watching. And I will see you on the next video.